practice, and welcome to our YouTube channel where we're producing yoga content and Dharma content to support the greater good, to help people have access to these ancient teachings that are so transformational and really support us at every level of our being. In this class, you're going to hear me talk about the multi-layered experience of our human organism. That includes our Annamaya kosha, the physical body, the Pranamaya kosha, the energy body, the Manomaya kosha, the mental body, the Vijnanamaya kosha, wisdom body, and the Anandamaya kosha, the inner sense of belonging, joy, bliss, contentment, unconditional love. To understand the layers of the koshas, there is a Dharma talk that I've done recently that you can see here. And that'll give you some background for why the students are making this inward journey and this outward journey, what I call a bi-directional pathway. This practice is also going to rely on something called three-part inhalation. And that process we're going to do for most of the class consistently, and then we'll do it as a formal pranayama at the end of class. To better understand three-part inhalation, check this practice right here. It's going to give you also a way to understand how to do the exhale pause and the exhale resting, feeling like you're not getting breathless there in an exhale pause. So that practice is really key if you're learning how to do exhale suspension or exhale pause, the practice I was just referring to here. And in this practice, we're going to be using a couple of standing poses also. One of those is trikonasana or triangle pose. To understand the approach that I'm taking in this practice, you can check this video right here. Okay, let's dive in. Thank you once again for being here to share your practice. Namaste. Oh, and before we dive in, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's really great to have you here. We want you to keep getting notifications for the practices as they come out. Okay, let's get into it. Good morning. Welcome for practice. Thank you for being here. We've been discussing the model of the koshas, both in our 200-hour yoga teacher training and our 300-hour yoga teacher training. And I'm fond of saying it is a bi-directional model. So I'd like to illustrate that some in our practice this morning. How does that bi-directional model benefit us, and to understand it, giving us a kind of roadmap? What can we do with that information? So we'll begin by sensing how this model moves us from the innermost to the outermost, but we have to know where innermost is. And then we're going to look at how we move from the outermost back to the innermost, so that we aren't just tossed about in this realm of, let's say, urban living or contemporary life that pulls us away from what we most deeply want to know about our indwelling self. So let's take a comfortable seat and we'll get started. You can rest your hands in your lap. Welcome your eyes to close. Lift the base of your skull and find your plumb line to sit in. And so first, I'll ask us to be able to drop in to that place that you might think of as your center, or a place of quiet refuge. To do that, acknowledge the environment you're sitting in first. So each of your senses can acknowledge the present moment and then let it be. For example, the quality of light in the space you're in, the temperature of the air, the sounds in your environment, the space that you occupy. Can include in your awareness the dimensions of the space you're occupying, and also the land that you occupy. If you're not one of the original native inhabitants, really get a moment here of giving gratitude that you inhabit land. Whether you quote unquote own that or you're renting that, let's give our respect to know where we are on this earth. Notice any fragrance in this space that you're in. And to give each of your 5 senses a responsibility, check and see if there's any taste on the tongue. So as your 5 senses kind of orient you here to the present moment, now come into a connection with your physical body and just ask of yourself. You don't have to do this in a kind of evaluative manner, but just ask, is your energy more bright, more mobile, more expansive, perhaps more bumpy, maybe quicker moving, perhaps staccato? Or does your physical body feel maybe more lethargic, or sometimes we can feel groggy in the morning? Because you just notice the physicality of the body having these certain qualities. Observe it without judging it, and let it be another way that you're orienting to the present. And see if you might go a little deeper than like the physicality of the body and ask of yourself. You can use imagination for this. If your nervous system was really a series of roads, maybe country roads, city roads, what is the pace of the traffic in your nervous system right now? And can you imagine breathing in such a way as you set the pace of the traffic? So if you slow down your breathing, can you imagine the traffic on these neural pathways, these highways, roads, and such? Can you imagine the traffic slowing down? And as you breathe, perhaps more slowly, perhaps more deeply, you might even imagine it is slowing down. Direct your attention even more inward. And let's imagine that your circulatory pathways are also responding to the breath. The rhythm of your heart will respond to your breath. And you can just sort of cultivate an imagination about the whole symphony of your energy body. So respiration, innervation, circulation, rhythm, reaching out, returning back. But we have both afferent and efferent nerves. We have arteries and veins. Try to sense the pulsation, you could say, of the symphony of life happening in you right now. And then going deeper than that, notice now the quality of your mind. So if your mind were like an aspect of nature, what might it be like right now? And sometimes it's like, oh, spacious sky with a luminous sun and a couple birds passing through. And other times the mind might be like a thunderstorm or a lot of rain on the surface of the water, making it impossible to see anything clearly. Maybe your mind is like a dense forest and it's difficult to let the light in, but it could be any number of things. Let your imagination be roaming and open. And having observed each of those things in these different layers, now ask yourself, from where are you observing? What is your inner witness that gives attention? And sensing that presence, please bring your hands to your heart. We'll begin with Asatoma Satgamaya. My cat is threatening to dismantle the system here. One moment, please. I don't want there to be a disaster. Come here, Nakula. Hi, honey. I know. I know, it's so much fun. I'm back there, but we're going to sing right now, okay? Okay. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. With your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. Please release your hands and open your eyes. And the threat of Nakula has passed and he has gone on from the room here. So when we're dropping in like that, it's really helpful to have a kind of little roadmap for coming in. But what is most profoundly helpful is to know the place from where we're paying attention, to know that kind of inner benevolent witness. Right? So now we're going to imagine that we can start the breath from that place, from that inner benevolent witness, and it's going to be an expansive breath going. We'll use the 3-part inhale. So it's going to be first third, middle third, upper third of the breath. And then on the exhale, we're going to come back down, hands to the heart. To make that possible and to feel like you could get a full breath cycle, sometimes people need to have a little recalibration of their O2 and their CO2. So we'll do a little recalibration first, and then we're going to be focusing on this 3-part inhalation, and we'll do it without interruptions. Okay? And then we'll have the exhale that brings us back down to the heart. So to recalibrate, we'll do a very simple technique. We're going to inhale pretty fully, whatever you can do. Add a little sip of an inhale on the top of that, and then exhale like you're sighing. Okay, so it's a little bit, mimics kind of like when you're yawning, or if you've been crying and you have to get a breath, you kind of do the same thing with a little sniff, a little sip, little apostrophe on the top of your inhale, and then you sigh. Okay, so let's do it deliberately. Breathe in. And then sip. And exhale. Let's do it 5 times. At your own pace, 3 times more. Allow the sigh to feel relatively complete, and do that twice more. And then rest a moment. See if you can reconnect to that inner, as I said, benevolent witness. And so from a place of kind of dropping in, we could say, right, being in your center. Now we're going to do inhale. And the first third of the breath, the arms will move 1/3 the way. The second third of the breath, move your arms the second third of the way. And the upper third of the breath, reach the arms up. And you're going to bring the breath up into your collarbones too. So it's lower lobes of the lungs, middle lobes, upper lobes. Okay? Let's do it together for the first one. And then exhale, hands down to your heart. If you are familiar with the Ujjayi breath, go ahead and use that. And let's continue for 5 times completely. You can imagine that during the inhale, you're moving from that very center, the inner benevolent witness, sensing the mind, sensing the circulation, innervation, the subtle body, sensing the physical body, and then the environment that surrounds you. And during the exhale, you come back in, outer body, inner body, mental body, wisdom, love. Let's do it twice more. Not a very good counter, so I'm doing one more. And then let your hands rest in your lap and drop into your inner witness. From there, simply observing whatever's happening, but not getting entangled in it. And please take your left arm out to the side. And with your inhale, try to measure first third, middle third, upper third, so the whole breath comes. And then exhale, side bend to your right and kind of squeeze the breath out. And then again, inhale, first third, middle third, upper third, continuously. And exhale, raise yourself up to center and lower your left arm down. Okay, right side, breathing in. Exhale, side bend left. Breathing in first, middle, upper thirds. Exhale, bring yourself up to center using your inner belly. And as you lower your right arm down, complete the exhale. Left side again. So moving at your pace without any sense of rushing the pace. Right? So give yourself the benefit of a full inhalation. Exhale, side bend right. Exhale, rise up to center using the inner belly and lower your left arm down. Complete the exhale and then right side again, please. Use the exhale to return to center. It's kind of like a weeble wobble where you come back upright using the base of the weeble wobble. Let your arms rest in your lap. Now let's sense the benefit of that and take it into a standing practice. We're going to continue with this first third, middle third, upper third, and the exhale to bring us into a sense of center. So please come up to standing, and I'll meet you on my mat back behind here. Now coming up to standing, let's take a stance as wide as a regular yoga mat. This is a round mat, so take a stance as wide as your regular yoga mat. And then with your left arm, inhale, again, first third, middle third, upper third. Wrap your right arm around behind you and exhale, side bend to your right without shifting your hip to the left. Then breathe in, lower belly on the left, mid-torso on the left, upper chest and heart on the left. Exhale, come up to center. Lower your left arm down. Okay, right side. Keep your right heel grounded as you breathe in. And use the exhale to return. So using core strength and stability on the exhale. Okay, take a little wider stance. So this method we're going to continue using. So you can sense that you're going from that internal place of witness and moving out through the different layers of the body to include the whole of nature, as Albert Einstein would say. That's respecting the earth beneath you, water, air, fire, ether, all the things. And then, grace and consciousness itself. On the exhale, we come back to this sense of center, and I'm going to ask you to sense you're returning to the innermost. Okay, so left arm out to the side. Side bend. Okay, exhale, rise up, root down into your left low belly, left heel, lower your left arm as you complete the breath. Right side. Side bend left, keeping your right heel grounded, wrap your left arm around behind the small of your back. Stay here for the inhale. Picture that you're filling up a parachute on the right side of the body. And then exhale, rise up. Lower your right arm down. Now take one more time a little wider stance. So this would be the stance that you might use for something like triangle pose or warrior two pose or standing wide leg forward bend pose. Okay, last time. Where you're able to use the Ujjayi breath. So it's going to keep your mind connected to the interior of your body. And it tells you when things are smooth and steady or where they get bumpy or rough. Okay, now turn your heels in, turn your toes out. Come down to this warm-up pose we call jazz dance warm-up pose. Now let's keep the arms straight as you're able to. Press down into your knees, widen the inner thighs apart, and put the weight into your heels, including the outer heels. Bring your gaze down towards the floor in front of you. And now let's focus specifically on the first third, middle third, upper third of the breath and include the back and the sides of the torso. When you exhale, imagine the exhale beginning at the pubic bone and kind of zipping up the front line of your spine. One more time, complete your exhale. And then inhale, rise up to standing. And let's go toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel until you're in mountain pose. And then drop in again. And just let's take notice. If you can do this process like a little, my teacher says, cross-check, like a pilot. You can do the process of cross-checking to come home relatively quickly once you get used to it. So you close the eyes, acknowledge each of your 5 senses. Physical body, energy body, your mental body, also the emotional body, and deeper than that, this inner wisdom, and then the loving witness. And let's step to the front of the yoga mat, please. So when you step forward, give yourself space to step backwards. So you'll be able to do that. Turn your palms face out. And let's again, inhale now, both arms, first third, middle third, upper third of the breath. Bend your knees, take your left toes back with your exhale. And then inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, hands down to the heart. Inhale, sweep your arms wide. And exhale to the heart. We'll do it one more time. So each time you can just really sense that you're pacing the breath equally. So each third of the breath is also kind of evenly proportioned, right? Not getting to the end of the inhale by the first third. And exhale, hands to the heart. Let's try inhaling to step forward. And exhale, hands to the heart. Okay, again, inhale, first third, middle. Take your time. If you know the Ujjayi breath, keep it smooth. On the exhale, bend your knees, step your right toes back. Inhale. So each time returning through the exhale to the sense of your innermost self. And let's keep that really consistent. Okay, so this is an expansive action. And this is a returning action. Again, please. And then we're going to use the inhale to step forward. So my process is inhale first third, middle third, upper third, and then exhale, hands to the heart. And drop in again. So since we're more likely to forget the inner self, the indwelling self, capital S, we drop in repeatedly, repeatedly. We don't need reminders to go participate in the urban life that we have. We don't need reminders to organize our things. So we practice dropping in because it gets less attention overall. Okay, now let's take a wide stance. And I would recommend that you have a couple of blocks, one for each side. Sometimes we do trikonasana in this way. This is called triangle pose in English. Sometimes we do it in this way because it gives us more freedom for the opening of the torso and a little bit more the rotation of the chest and the heart. And since people are reporting that they have neck and shoulder tension, go figure. And apparently it's gotten worse since the pandemic, and people are working from home and are more sedentary and so on, and also more apps on their phones. So with that neck and shoulder tension, let's give ourselves some freedom to be able to open the chest and the heart. So set yourself up here so that your heels are lined up right to left on your mat. And then straighten both legs and strengthen them. Let's do this here. Inhale, first third, middle third, the upper third. And on the exhale, open your arms and begin rotating so your right block is a little forward of your right foot and is tall. Okay, and then keeping the right leg kind of corkscrewed, as I said the other day, it's corkscrewed down into the floor. So the outer hip draws back, your right quadricep is rotating externally, the right shin and knee point towards the third toe. Okay, so with that, then bring your left arm down like this and let's go. Inhale, first third, middle third, upper third. Exhale, lower your left arm. Repeat, inhale, first third, middle, upper. Exhale, let the left arm relax. Again, inhale. This time, exhale, pull up using the strength of the belly. There you go. Okay, turn your right foot in, turn the left foot out, go to the other side. So if you want to review this foundation for triangle pose or get a sense of like where this is coming from, you can check a video from a class that'll be listed here on YouTube. And that'll help you to know, why am I saying corkscrew and why are we having the blocks ahead like this? But it can be so freeing for the torso, upper chest, neck, and shoulder rotation, and the breath will feel more spacious too. Okay, let's start again. So inhale, first third, middle, upper third. And then as you exhale, open the arms, start rotating your torso for the twist. Keep your legs really stable. The left hand comes down to its block, and you kind of know where that block is. You don't have to actually look for it. Well, you're going to get better at that. Okay, so inhale. Keep the right outer hip strong, left leg steady as your arm comes up past your ear for the upper third of the breath. And then exhale, it's only the arm that comes down. Everything else is stable. Complete the exhale. And then with your inhalation. So one thing is that we haven't really shifted the hips off to the right in a kind of lax manner. Keep the outer right hip toned and send energy down into your left foot. So that's very stable. Now exhale, because the right outer hip is already strong, you add to that the right low belly, and that brings you up. And then feet parallel. Okay, let's do it again to the right, please. Inhale. Keep the left outer hip strong, right leg steady, come down. Breathe in. Of course, you're going to be breathing at your own pace, right? I'm only making the suggestions. Exhale to come down, follow yourself here. It'll be 3 breath cycles. And again, sense that you're reaching into everything. You are a part of the ecology. On the exhale, you're returning into that inner sense of self. When we say self, capital S. One more time, and this time the exhale is going to be to come up to standing. You'll finish the exhale as the left arm comes down. Let's turn the feet to the other side. So the right heel does step back slightly, and that gives your pelvis a chance to know where you're going. Again, at your own pace. Keep both legs strong. The right outer hip ought to feel stable to help the left leg feel even more grounded. And then following your breath, some of you might not be accustomed to breathing so fully in yoga poses, but I'm going to hypothesize here, posit to you that the pose is a container and the breath is coming to fill this container. And the lungs are really helping from the inside. When the lungs expand with the breath, it's a big massage from the inside. This is our last one, so the exhale will be used to come back upright. And then make your feet parallel and come down to Prasarita Padottanasana. Now, when the torso is inverted, which it is right now, it's possible that your exhale is going to feel actually easier to do. So with the in-breath, picture the in-breath coming across the back hemisphere of your body and the sides of the torso and even up into the back of the heart. And then exhale very slowly and thoughtfully, but not to the point of breathlessness. And now please raise your hands to your heart and rise up to standing. Let's go heel toe, back into mountain pose. And you get that like simple cross-checking and the return. So the ecology, the outer environment, the place where you belong, and physical body, energy body, mental body, inner knowing, wisdom body. And then back to that inner loving presence. Okay, let's take a bolster or a blanket to sit on, please. And as you come to your seat, go ahead and sit first in Siddhasana, which we just think of as lining the heels up. Right, so the ankles aren't actually crossed. Siddhasana, the heels are lined up, so the knees are a little wider apart. Yeah. Okay, in this position, you're going to have at the right side, you probably have a floor, but you might also want to use a block, and you can decide when you feel into the kind of the change that has happened as a result of the standing practice now coming back to where you may have begun, right? I don't know what your seat was for everybody in the beginning, but if you now take the left arm out to the side and breathe in, left, lower, middle, upper, and then exhale, side bend to your right. Inhale, reach long. Now this time, exhale, open your left arm, wrap it around behind the small of your back, and then tip your right ear, your nose, your gaze. Roll the left shoulder back, so it's likely that you're going to notice the left side of your neck. So this is our exhale position. Let's now inhale, first third, middle third, rotate your head, sweep your left arm past your ear. Exhale, sweep your left arm around behind the small of your back, rotate your right ear, your nose, your gaze. Inhale, raise the left arm, rotate your head, look up. And last time, exhale, sweep your left arm wide and around the small of your back and gaze down. And then rise back up to sitting. So it's possible that your side bend felt more flexible and then, like, oh my gosh, is there a discovery on the left side of your neck? What is happening there? And if it's possible that what is happening with any tension in your body is not only your personal stress, but also a sense that your body knows there are larger distresses going on, then appreciate your body for giving you the signals or for trying to kind of maybe hold it together or trying to notify you with some tight spots in your body. So we don't practice any kind of judgment of the sensation, right? Take the right arm out to the side, breathe in. Exhale, side bend left. And then stretch it out with the inhale. And we'll do the same thing on this one. So with your exhale, open your right arm, wrap it around behind the small of your back, turn your left ear, your nose, your gaze. Inhale, raise your right arm, rotate your head. My little troublemaker came back. Okay, again, please. And last time for the exhale to go down with your right arm, rotate your head. And inhale up to center. Now keeping your left foot in. Nakula, I know you guys can't see him right now, but he's looking for other kinds of trouble. Take the right leg out to the side, please. Left leg in, right leg out. Honey, please don't do that. Okay, you can use blocks if the floor feels far away. You can use the floor if it's within reach. Whatever your needs are going to be there, come forward while keeping both hips grounded. So the sitting bones stay back and you're going to be loyal to that. Hi, honey. Yeah, please come forward to this variation of Janusirsasana. Okay. You're welcome to bow your head and let's do it so you're not becoming passive. We still want to have clear attention. So inhale the Ujjayi breath into the back hemisphere of your body. And keep your right outer hip especially grounded, like when we were in triangle pose and I said, hey, let's corkscrew the right leg, the front leg. Picture your right leg still corkscrewing. So the quadricep is rotating out, your right kneecap rotates towards the ceiling, the shin bone points up, the big toe, the middle toe, the third toe, they're all pointing up towards the ceiling. And then walk your hands back towards your knees, back towards your seat, rise up. Now we're going to take this block for those who need it. And you know how in triangle pose we had it forward of the foot? Instead of going directly towards your foot right now, we're going to bring this a little bit to the inside. If I place mine about where my right foot is on this arc, if I had a protractor, which I don't, blessedly, we're going to be coming down with a little twist to the left. So it's kind of like doing that triangle pose. And we will again bring the arm overhead. So set yourself up for success there. Let's inhale, raise both arms. Exhale, rotate left, side bend right. There you go. And then inhale, raise your left arm, first third, middle third, upper third. And exhale, sweep the left arm wide and wrap it around behind your back. Turn your chin and your nose down towards the floor. Keep the left shoulder rolled back there. And then inhale, raise your left arm, rotate your head. And exhale. Keep the twist of your torso to your left as you turn your chin to the right. And as you inhale slowly, first third, middle and upper, be really deliberate. Ask of your body to breathe in completely. And then ask your body to exhale completely as well. Last time, inhale, raise your arm. And then exhale, rise back up and relax your arms down. Let's pull the right foot in, take the left leg out. So other side. And again, you can have blocks in front of you if you'd like to, or you could simply walk forward. Here we want to have a sense that both hips stay grounded and the breath can expand the back hemisphere of the body. So with every expansion, I'm going to encourage you to sense to the extent possible that it's like an expansion of participation or belonging to life itself. And with every exhale, think of that returning to know from where we have come, and then to understand why we are here. Please walk your hands back towards your feet and towards your seat. Rise up. And you can place a block on the inside. Now, some of you might need that block to be on the tall setting. Some of you might want it to be on the flat setting. That would be okay too. But bring it in a slight angle. So there is going to be the chance to twist more with the upper chest. Like if we come down sideways, for some people, when they come down just directly sideways, by the way, there's a block right here where the shape of their hip socket, the shape of the femoral head, and the flexibility of the muscles means that their femur is pushing up against the top of the socket. And when it hits there, you can't really come into a side bend very effectively. But it's not all like hamstring related. Sometimes it's going to be that bony juncture. So this little rotation where we're coming slightly forward is also going to give more possibility there for that student. So let's keep the left leg stable. The shin points up, the knee points up, the toes point up. So it's not going to tip in like that. Breathe in. And then exhale, twist to your right, side bend to your left. Bring the left hand down. And then inhale, raise your right arm. Exhale, keep your twist to the right, wrap your right arm around and rotate your head to go down. Inhale. Twice more for the inhale. Maintain your twist in your chest and heart to the right as you turn your head to your left. And do that one more time. And then use your exhale to pull yourself up to center and relax both arms. And let's bring the left foot in to Siddhasana. Take your seat. Relax the breath and everything else. So you just drop in. And please reach for a blanket if you prefer that for your resting. We're going to do Shavasana, so we can take this practice into Shavasana, and then we're going to do a seated practice of, more formally speaking now, that 3-part inhalation, Viloma Pranayama. So please put your bolster or your other blanket, the one you're sitting on, can go under your knees. You can put these guys aside, you don't need them, and come down to Shavasana. I personally like to cover up. This is not a particularly warm room that I'm in, and that's on purpose. So now I will cover. When I say on purpose, what I mean is I'm watching the energy consumption of the household, right? So it's a purposeful decision to be a responsible citizen. I'll just say it that way. Okay, take the arms out to the side if you like. It gives a little more space for the torso, or if you just feel like you need the comfort or the sense of returning, then you could put your hands on your belly if you want to. Allow your eyes to close. And give yourself the gift of dropping in, returning, returning, returning. Allow your body to get very still, and slowly it will get heavier with relaxation. There's nothing for you to do with the breath at all. Allow the natural cadence. Invite your mind not to pull you away, but to drop down with the heaviness of the relaxation of your body. Whatever process occurs, observe it from this inner loving witness. And therefore, without fear or apprehension, without judgment or clinging, you simply observe. Allow the process to drop a little deeper for this last minute or so. You could imagine that all the layers of your body, all layers of the koshas, they're releasing the friction or the static, the residue. And therefore your reception and transmission in life today is going to be easier. Now begin to roll your head side to side. Wiggle your fingers right. Wiggle your fingers left. And try doing that when your head rolls right. You wiggle the right fingers, head left, wiggle the left fingers. That's symmetrical. Try adding the toes. Roll your head right. Right toes, right fingers, left. So when it's symmetrical, it'll feel easier to follow. Now, can you make it asymmetrical? Roll your head right, wiggle your left toes and fingers. Roll your head left, wiggle the right fingers and toes. And then bring that back to center. And bend your knees. Let's please transition from resting in Shavasana to sitting, because I would like to share this pranayama practice with you. So I reserve some time in our practice for this. Please come to a comfortable seat. And as I said, it's not that warm in here, so now I get to use my blanket. For those of you who are aversive to multiple patterns in one space, I appreciate your patience. Okay, so how this breathing practice is going to work, we're going to do inhale, pause, and then exhale, return. That means that you're interrupting the inhale. Inhale, pause, inhale, pause, inhale, pause. There's 3 pauses, and then exhale. I did a practice introducing this concept, and I'll load that here for you on YouTube. We'll put it up there, because that practice can be helpful to go back and check how do these pauses get created more comfortably. It's possible that you'll feel comfortable in the pauses today. So we're going to do it this way. My recommendation, as some of you know for many years now, is that you inhale for 3, pause for 3, inhale 3, pause 3, inhale 3, pause 3. The reason I'm choosing 3 is it's easy to count to. You set the pace of your 3. You could count slower, you could count more quickly. Don't rush, of course. And the exhale is going to be for 9. For some people, the exhale can be for 12, 15. Ultimately, if you wanted your in-breath and your out-breath to match, your exhale length would be 18. But that might be too far of a reach right now, so we start with 9. Okay, so arms out to the side. Okay, just do your best, don't strain yourself. Okay. Inhale for 3. Pause for 3. Inhale. Pause. You're going to be counting your own 3s in a moment. So inhale 3. Pause. And exhale for 9. So that is the basic template of what we're going to be doing. And again, you're going to count your own pace for those 3s. Okay, let's try that. Proceed at your pace, okay? So each of us is going to have our own pace because that is the nature of our bodies in rhythm and the length of our breath cycles. No sense of straining. finish your next breath cycle, then you can relax, let your arms come down, in your own timing. And then rest your mind in the innermost place. Invite your mind to be free from temptations, distractions. Keep resting your mind in that place that is most inner. This is a time of refuge and remembering. You rest in this inner place. Imagine the others who are practicing right now also resting in this inner place. So we're practicing in our own spaces and we're connected virtually. Having that imagination that others too are dedicated or directed in this way, that does matter to us, to our species, consider that to be important. Please raise your hands to your heart. Appreciate yourself for your practice and also the others who gather or who watch this, later as a recording, and you're doing the same. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your practice with us. Before you go, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if the practice is helpful, click like and leave me some comments and questions down below. I want to keep creating content for you and for everyone else who's really interested in the authentic experience of yoga, looking at our physical, emotional, mental, ecological, spiritual well-being, and our collective well-being too. So thank you once again for being here. Namaste.